This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And it's time for Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Ken.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
The man is back this week.
He is alive.
He is alive.
COVID,
a little disheveled, but
COVID
alive.
negative.
Good.
I know. I let him out of the basement. He was quarantining down there. I was like, you have a negative test? Come on upstairs.
Come on up, my man.
Got
Yeah.
the all clear from it. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Feeling better. Ready to dive into this. See what's
Yes.
changed since 2 weeks ago when I was here.
Yeah, not a lot. We have just a few changes on the release schedule. Update on the Shuttered Venues grant, and then we have actually some movie reviews to go over. So we
That's
got
right.
some screeners in.
Yeah.
Talk about some news, and then it's trailer time. We finally got some trailers.
We're going to talk about trailers again?
Yeah,
It's been a while.
I was actually really excited about these trailers too. So this will be fun.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. Upcoming release schedule changes. Witness from Purdy Distribution moved from April 21st to June 4th. Lost City of D from Paramount is now going to be releasing on April 15th. That's new.
Of 2022.
Of 2022. That's new to the release schedule, right?
Yeah. I think it's a Sandra Bullock action movie.
Oh, nice.
So,
I
yeah.
the
That's all I know about it.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent from Lionsgate is now unset off the release schedule. So
And it used to be...
on 3/19.
Gotcha.
And then Reminiscence from Warner Brothers is releasing September 3rd. It was unset, but now they've put it down in September of 2021.
So, out of all these, I think it's Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is a bummer, only because it's supposed to star Nick Cage and have him play himself in some way. Isn't that right, Ken? You're the expert
Yeah,
with Nick
I'm
Cage.
excited about this one. So he plays a fictional version of himself that has to use his skills that he's learned playing roles.
The
to
countless
save,
roles.
Yeah, action roles to save him from peril. So it's like the perfect role for the ultimate egomaniac.
Yeah.
It's not like most people do this as a cameo, like a 3-second blip in a movie. Donald Trump in Home Alone 2, kind of like, hey, I'm Donald Trump in a movie, and say their name. But no, this is 90 minutes plus of Nicolas Cage overacting as Nicolas Cage.
Maybe it was supposed to be a cameo, and then he was like, you know what? I just want this to be a whole movie. And they're like, we got to make a lot of changes for the script. And he's like, make it happen. I decree it. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the most interesting one that I'm looking at. The trailer is going to tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes out.
Yeah,
Whenever it
whenever it
comes.
does.
I can't wait
It's a
for
bummer
that
that
day.
it's unset. I wish it had just been moved back or rescheduled.
Yeah, but who knows what type of... I mean, for this type of movie, you just never know what the best placement for it might be, especially with this year. It's looking better and better, but at the same time, it's just still so uncertain.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the logic.
As far as booking strategies and upcoming stuff, we actually are looking at 2 good weeks coming up. We've got Tom and Jerry next week.
Mm-hmm.
So finally a family film that might dethrone Crudes
That's
a little.
not Croods.
Rival it.
Yeah.
Not that we don't love Crudes.
Yeah. And then the following week we've got Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney, which will probably most definitely dethrone Crudes if Tom and Jerry doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
And then we've got Chaos Walking from Lionsgate, and we've got Boogie from
Focus.
Yeah. So 2 weeks where I actually have product to fill screens, and it's wide release, big studio products. So
Yeah, and then the week after that, we'll be running all the Oscar stuff.
I think our Oscar nominations the 15th.
I believe they're supposed to be announced sometime in March, so probably the 15th. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Friday the
19th is after.
Yeah.
So
the 15th is when we'll be booking those things for getting them in. So it'll be awesome to see like a real schedule. Like it'll look like a normal schedule.
Yeah.
Right.
For
like 3 weeks. And then it'll go back to being not a lot. Except we'll have Godzilla at the end of the month. So
Yeah, exactly.
and
Godzilla on the last day of Q1 to
Yeah.
put a bow on it. A Wednesday opening
yeah.
before Easter, which doesn't seem like the right time for there to be a Wednesday opening. But
That's
hey, let's try it out.
Let's try it out.
You know what? All bets are off this year. We're just gonna try whatever.
I thought last year was weird. Let alone a Wednesday opening before Easter to
Does
see if
this
we
rival
can
it?
blow the grosses out.
At least we have openings this year.
At least we have openings. That's right.
we didn't have anything last year.
We'll do it on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday. You can make up a day. We'll be there.
Right.
We'll have it open.
We had one wide release opening last year over 10 weeks, and it was Trolls World Tour last year.
Yeah.
And nobody was open for it, but
No.
we only had one
Yeah.
wide release for 10 straight weeks. It was wild looking back at it yesterday.
I don't want to look back at it. No. I just want to forget that year happened. So I don't. Yeah, I'm just filling up screens. I'm probably not even gonna double. I might double Raya. 2 screens of Raya in some places because Disney has a big turnout. I think that the being on Disney Plus only affect areas where a lot of the theaters are closed. But I think families are gonna want to come out for this and bring kids. It's the first film since Croods that they're actually able to do this. So
I mean, the fact that Crude still has steam to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's making $2 million every year, which doesn't seem like much, but for these circumstances, it's a big deal.
I mean every week.
Or every week, excuse me.
Yeah, every year.
No, not every year. It's not going to be like that, I promise. It'll become
It's
normal.
very consistent.
Yeah. It never goes away. So that's kind of all I've got. As far as the Shuttered Venues grants, I don't have a lot of updates for anybody this week. NATO is making a big push to let everybody know that they do need a notarized letter to finish the registration for sam.gov. I hope to go through the process of that notarized letter and put an update on SSI about that. It's just a safety precaution, apparently, to verify that you did indeed want to sign up for sam.gov and that you are authorized to make those changes and decisions. So we'll go through the process and we'll let everybody know how that goes. But I think you only have like 60 days from the time you first register with sam.gov to do it. So
I am not a robot. Signed and notarized.
yeah.
We
So-
figured out how to beat them with notaries. Notaries are the real heroes.
No new changes on the frequently asked questions. They updated, the SBA updated the FAQs on the Shuttered Venues grant last Friday, right after our podcast. So I didn't get a chance to go through it. I did go through it. A lot of it is changes for what designates a live venue. So like an air show doesn't count for a live venue, won't count under this grant. I think they're just trying to sift through the weeds and figure out exactly, drill down to what they want for that. It's easy for the movie theaters because it's like permanent fixed seating, tickets, and you have to contract out with the studios. Now, as far as paperwork they'll need, we still don't know yet what they're going to want to verify you. But it might actually be super helpful for the theaters to compile a list of all of the movies that they've booked in the theater for the last, I would say, year or two, at least for 2019 minimum, and just have that list together. As a film buyer, we are going to offer for our clients a authorization letter that just says that we're authorized to book on their behalf and that that they have we can verify that they have paperwork with the studios and are able to play these movies. And so I'm sure you're going to want all your studio contracts as well. I think the strategy that everybody should think about is inundate SBA with paperwork. It's going to be really hard to sift through it all and deny you, kind of just drown them in evidence. And so we're just working on different ways to do that. But I think having a list of all the films you play, getting that authorization from your booker would be super helpful pieces of information. Whether you really need them or not, we don't know at this point, but it's good to have that ahead of time. Also, your site, any seating site plans that you have. So, if you've reseated recently in the last year, you probably have all your auditoriums mapped out anyways. So have those site plans, have the number of seats, have your projector, make, model, and info. You can only be a movie theater if you have certain projectors. I mean, that's just a given. And so have all of that purchase order information, any contracts you have for that.
Fingerprint, hair sample, blood test.
Yeah.
Just include everything.
Urine analysis. I know it's gross, but we got to do it, people.
Got to look as legit as possible.
Inundate them with data.
The more data, the more likely they'll leave you alone, right?
Oh, they're giving me pee samples. I'll just approve.
All right,
them.
buddy, just get away.
Yeah.
We'll sign it. We'll approve of it. Jeez.
We'll leave that test up to Kyle. Cody and I might pee hot.
Well, after having gone through the last year, it's a distinct possibility. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm sure that today, after this podcast, we will get yet another update to the FAQs, and I will be talking about them next week. So
We timed these up pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty
I think
well.
they set it based on our schedule.
So there must be a spy in
They were
the
like-
window somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, they talked about it? Bam, let's
Yeah.
change it up.
Go. Release it now.
Yeah. So, Kyle, you saw you and Ken both got to see Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, Ken did too?
No? Just you?
Just me? Yeah, just me. I
I
didn't.
thought you watched it too.
Or are you thinking of Boogie?
Oh, I'm
from
thinking of Boogie.
last week.
Boogie.
You know, the exact
Whoops.
same movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're both
Sorry.
about basket panthers.
No.
I don't know.
Neither of those.
I guess I've just dismissed this movie in the back of my mind. I've moved on from it. Like
moved
I've
on
already
from
booked
the last-
new
It's on screen.
things. Yeah,
It's on screen. We're
It's
moving
on
on.
screen. I've moved on. I forgot that our movie
On to
reviews are.
Tom and Jerry.
Spoken like a true film buyer.
No, I forgot that our movie reviews are off the break. It's the name of the podcast.
What are we called again? It's not like there's a big sign in our studio
I
or
know.
our soon-to-be studio.
Oh, I know. Okay, so you saw Judas and the Black Messiah. Is
did.
it as good as all the critics are saying? Because I'm hearing that the people that do see it, they've loved it. They said it's excellent.
Oh, it's definitely excellent, and it's just so surprising because this is from a first-time writer and director of like a big feature like this. Like he's only ever done television work, so for him to really go out and swing for the fences for a story like this and a movie like this, I thought it was just really impressive on his part. The summary of this story is it's the true story of the FBI hiring a man named William O'Neill to infiltrate the Black Panther Party and to keep tabs on Fred Hampton, which led to the death and the murder of Fred Hampton. And
Who's
so,
Fred Hampton?
the Chicago leader, the Illinois chairman of the Black Panther Party.
Okay.
And what the biggest takeaway that I had from this was this movie delivering like an inside look at the mindsets between both William O'Neill and Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton, it wasn't too surprising because the movie it paints a picture that it is about him, and it is
Right.
for the most part, but it goes deeper to not only him being the revolutionary, but also him being like a person outside of that. And I was really impressed by how well that they paint a picture of like what he's like outside of that, atmosphere of being a leader. But also with William O'Neill, it's a man and a person of history that no one really knows about. And so on the surface, when you hear that he just agrees to, infiltrating the Black Panther Party, like you don't really root for him in the beginning and you don't really root for him throughout it, I feel like. But at the same time, it still paints a well enough picture on the understanding the mindset of his dilemma and how he wavers between agreeing to the terms that the FBI set for him because he's trying to protect himself as a black man, but at the same time he agrees so much with what the Black Panther Party was trying to do that it's just a really weird balancing act that he's getting through, and it really dives deep into what his mindset was going through it.
No, I mean, I hear from a lot of exhibitors that the movie was really good, that people that do go and see it come out with just really positive reviews of it, but that they're just struggling getting people to go see
It's
it
such tough subject matter.
Yeah.
It is.
On
Yeah.
any year,
on any
let
year.
alone a very divisive year.
Yeah, and that's really what it is when it comes to people not going. It's just the subject matter. But as a movie in general, like it's very excellent, but
Right.
it is a hard sell. But I would encourage people to go see it because I definitely learned a bit more about Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party in general, or at least the chapter that he was involved with. But I understand like the subject matter is definitely not one for everyone, despite it being parallel so much with today's current events, which we don't need to get into. But it was just an observation that I made for that.
Please expound on that, Kyle.
No, we don't. This isn't that type of podcast.
No.
You don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just reviewing the movie.
So,
Who'd you
was
vote
there
for?
was there a lot of basketball played in this movie?
Was
Why is his
you,
name
Did you
Boogie?
actually watch Boogie and think it was?
Yeah.
No, Cody. They're very different movies.
I know they are.
They're very different.
I don't know why I read that. And
Kyle
thought
watched another one
Boogie.
this week, though, didn't he?
Yeah, you got
I did.
another. But this one, okay, this one's an upcoming film, and it was actually a screener. So we're back to stuff in the future, where my mind is at. How was The Courier from Roadside Attractions?
It was actually revealed to be Boogie again.
Oh, no.
No, so The Courier, I thought it was pretty good. I just am curious about how much attention it's really going to give people. And I would think that, I don't know, with these types of biopics, like despite having Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead, like I just don't see it having the best odds of getting the most eyes on the screen, let alone in any year. But I thought the movie was still pretty well handled. The story is a true story about a British businessman who gets hired into by the MI6, and the CIA to keep tabs on the Soviet Union, and he also gets help from like a Soviet Union double agent who's working with the CIA and the MI6. And so what I really liked the most about this movie was that it shows like the partnership and the relationship between Benedict Cumberbatch's character and the double agent character. And that was really like the biggest takeaway that I had from that movie. Outside of that, like I think while the story is really interesting, it just doesn't give enough of a push when it comes to the script to really like sell it, to like be informative, to be entertaining. Like it just kind of goes through the motions. But
Does it add a lot of high stakes in it so that you feel the consequences? Or
it does in the second half, and that's why I ended up liking the movie.
Like it ups the level of intensity in the second half?
Yeah, because in the first half, it like I said, it goes through the motions, and you're like, okay, like I see how this story is going, and seeing, I've seen this type of story before. Like it's still not bad, but I just have seen this pattern, and then in the second half, like it really takes a big swing, and I think there's like some good payoff to where you kind of feel that gut punch. But there's just so much that drags in the first half that I could just see people not really enjoying it all that much.
Do you think Benedict Cumberbatch is a draw anymore? Because there's been a few movies, these period movies that he's been in and starred, that just have waffled. They just haven't found an audience.
I think it's just based on what the movie what the movie will be. I mean,
Right. But
people like Benedict Cumberbatch, but they like him for stuff that they've seen in him before, like Sherlock or Star Trek or Doctor Strange. But if outside of that, though, I don't think
he's a real draw.
I think it's like that for most actors anyway. But outside of like maybe
Liam
a
Neeson,
few,
who is saving our industry one action film at a time.
I think people are just so used to him being in every action film that they're just used to at this point. But I think it's just mostly the subject matter that Benedict Cumberbatch is involved in that is really the draw. People like him, but I don't see him being another historical drama is really going to convince people.
Do you see either of Judas or The Courier getting any awards buzz?
I see it more with Judas, especially for the acting performances from Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya. But The Courier, I bet this is one that'll be forgotten about.
Maybe kind of overlooked.
Yeah. Which isn't good for,
No, because
theaters during Oscar time. But
Roadside, I think, is really banking on it and having a bunch of awards nominations.
then they really better push it somehow and like get, critics to recognize it and whatever. But I don't know. I don't see that happening.
They can wish in one hand and be roadside in the other.
You said it, not me.
They've always had a hard time figuring out what the secret sauce is to get one of their movies recognized.
Yeah. It used to be you just paid off a lot of people.
Not
Like,
these days. You can't
Not
do
these
that
days.
anymore.
You can't browbeat them into
You can't just
giving.
put honky tonk pumpkin patch in a
Yeah.
movie. And,
Put a period costume on him and
yeah,
give me my Oscar.
Doesn't work that way anymore.
it's not how we live. You can't just put Wimbledon tennis match on screen and expect him to just knock things out of the
I
park.
knew that's what you were looking up. I can see you down there.
He's going through his phone trying
I
to
was like,
figure
what's he
out.
doing? Oh, I know what he's doing. We're talking about Benedict Cumberbatch.
Buffalo
I think-
custard bath.
I think your favorite is that you always call him Honky Tonk Pumpkin Patch. That's your favorite go-to.
That's the easiest one. Burlington Coat Factory.
That one's a good one.
He goes by many names.
Benevolent computer glitch. Everybody knows who we're talking about. You guys said his name like 9 times, and I'm like, please,
Just say
Give
a
you an
different version.
opening.
no, give me an opening.
But yeah, there will be a full written review for The Courier when it comes out March 19th, close to that time,
Yeah.
but on silverscreeninsider.com. But there's already a review out for it for Judas and the Black Messiah right now.
Yeah, check out that review. We have... you guys are really excited about the latest Scorsese film. There's been some
Oh, yeah.
updates on that.
Mm-hmm.
We're moving away from bumper car crumple zone.
Yeah, did you get, is that the one you want to end on? Is there one more you need to get
I
out?
want to get like 9 more in, but I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. We can
Really?
refocus.
Bumper Car Crumble Zone. Is that the one you want to
That's
end
pretty
on?
good.
Okay. Just want
I've
to make
got
sure.
some R-rated ones, but I think I'll save those.
Okay, maybe at the end of the podcast you slip one of those in. Okay.
Right when we sign off.
So Kyle, Ken was like freaking out the other night. He's like, Jesse Plemons is now going to be the lead in, what is it? Killers of Flower Moon. Sorry,
What is it?
No, it's
In her defense, it's now going to Apple. So
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
but
at
it's
this
also
point-
the most ridiculous name. I mean,
the
Killers
name of a book,
the
yeah.
Flower Moon.
based on sad true events.
I just feel like this is like a hippie death movie.
It's
It's
a
Native
death
American.
movie, but not a hippie movie.
Murder.
Flower Moon Child.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's what it feels like.
That's not what it is.
I have no idea what it is.
Anyway,
Moving away from any sort of Native American parodies that Cody's trying to make.
I
over
don't-
that are going
I
to
didn't
be
even-
tasteless. They're not
just
going
thought
to
it
be
was a
good.
hippie movie.
Moving on.
Okay. Anyways, he was freaking out because Leonardo DiCaprio, who was the lead role and this had been, I think, his baby with Scorsese for a long time, is now taking the secondary supportive role. What happened, Leo? What's going on?
Well, apparently, due to some massive script changes, it somehow caused Leo to be in the supporting role, but now in the lead role is going to be Jesse Plemons, who is one of the best character actors working today. Like, people probably don't know who his name is, but you've seen him around. Like, he's been in, things from like Friday Night Lights and Breaking Bad all the way to Game Night and Black Mass and
Vice, and
Yeah.
he's in everywhere.
The Irishman just
Yeah.
last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I was very excited. I came in to talk to Kyle about it, and we were like a couple of schoolgirls dancing
Yeah.
around. We were so excited about it because he finally gets an opportunity. He's one of these people that's always been in the periphery
Yeah.
and has really paid his dues, and now it's time to see what he can do with a great director and plenty of budget and plenty of promotion and see what he can actually do.
It's just a shame
And just
nobody's going to see it.
Just because it's on Apple doesn't mean it's going to stay on Apple. So many things have moved. So many things have adjusted. So many release dates and productions, and let's just wait and see. We can shit on it later. Let's just wait until we get there.
Look, we just want to give this a win for Jesse Plemons. We understand that this movie is probably not going to get a theatrical
know.
release, and hopefully Scorsese will change that.
I feel like
but this is a win for Jesse Plemons, and I want everyone to know about it. Right, Ken?
I feel
That's
like
right.
Scorsese jumping ship to streaming is lower down on my shit list than other people have made the list up higher. So
Jordan Peele,
yeah. Who was the other one?
an example. That's the only one I remember.
Who was the other? There was one more.
United Artists.
Yeah.
Okay.
United
yeah,
Artists
I do,
in general.
Yeah, I do remember
Well,
that one.
you-
Okay.
You have a shit list, and so does Martin Scorsese now.
Yeah.
With anybody who calls films
Content.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't get him started, people.
For somebody who makes films on only digital cameras.
And now is putting them on digital streaming sites.
He's very upset about films being called content, where you could call them.
I think he's just having a hard time because he sold out. Now he's like, it's coming back.
He's
to
like,
haunt
no,
him.
I'm still a champion of the artists of the film.
I'm a filmmaker.
It's just only streaming will have my movies now.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
Just getting old.
The times are changing and he doesn't like it. I get it, though.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, we talked about this before the podcast. Like, I don't disagree with his thoughts.
Well, first we should have we clarified what his thoughts were exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Basically, in an essay, he badmouths how, thanks to streaming services, films are being classified as content, but because they're being classified as content, it disvalues them. Like, it takes away from them being perceived as art. And now with streaming services, just having so much of an abundance of content, it just blurs the line so much to where it all is just labeled as content and not is able to classify itself well enough to be considered art as he views it should be.
Yeah, he was upset because by calling films content, you're just putting in the same category as visual media, and that encompasses everything from a 30-second TikTok video to somebody's whole life's work with a whole film crew and stage and all of that. So I can see where it does devalue it. You cannot have this many hours of visual media and not have it just be all about the cycle of new, consume the latest 2 minutes of something and go. And then no one relives in these movies. No one takes them and rewatches them and lives in the moments of them and talks about them anymore. And that consumer behavior around the movies is really changing. And I think that's what he was trying to touch upon. The fact is that movies have lost their cultural perch and prominence, and it's because of business decisions from studios and corporations that is put them in the we need content to fill, and also from consumers who are just getting addicted to this, what's next
always
mentality.
Wanting the next thing immediately.
And directors who are excited about going over budget every time, so the movie has to go to the next film company.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
$200 million budget.
If you want a movie to be on screen, make a movie and put it on screen.
Right.
Nobody's going to tell you it's because of his ridiculous demands of money and production and things like that. You can easily make a film now for a star-studded motion picture for $100 million. Well, he needs 1.5 or 2.5 times that to make a movie, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, his budget was more than Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, not adjusted, but it was
without
more than
special
Avengers.
effects.
Well, there's obviously there has to be some special effects unless everybody ate gold-plated chicken nuggets the entire.
If I was Leonardo DiCaprio, that's what I would order all the time. Make it happen. I mean, the one thing that I would say that he's probably incorrect about is that I think even in his glory days, studios would still view films as content, not necessarily works of art, but it's just because of the abundance of streaming services and how people are viewing content these days. It's just more apparent that films are now being perceived by business decisions as content based and not more so as works of art.
Yeah.
Well, just like in our job with film buyers, it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And the first time we have a movie that does $100 million opening, everything will be like, oh, we need to put that back in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's like an immediate payout and it puts you on the front page. And there's not that with streaming because it just goes away. It goes into the ether.
Yeah.
After you put it out there. There might be a build up to it, but that's the end of it.
Right. Well, there was life after the theater. It went to the theater, it made $100 million. Then you got DVD sales. Then you got digital streaming rights. You had these other avenues. With streaming, that's it. There's no DVD sales after that. There's no theatrical. There's nothing. It's just one lane, and that lane doesn't last very long. And that lane does not have the payout as the other lanes did.
For family movies, there's no merchandising. There's none of that.
No.
like there has been.
You don't get super excited for the stuff on streaming networks.
Yeah.
I think we've ever bought our kids a toy that didn't come from the movies first.
That didn't.
Yes,
Yeah.
we never have. Ever, ever, ever.
I'm trying to think of an example, but I don't.
I don't have several.
You don't have. Stop.
But
Like
for,
what?
but for the most part,
We're not buying them little Einstein stuff.
No.
Or
You guys
bubble
can,
guppies.
Nope. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this after. For the most part, toys are coming from stuff like movies and TV. I don't want to deal with this today. Let's move on. The viewers don't. The viewers want to, or the listeners want to move on. I want to move on.
He's turning red, kid.
Dad hit Mom at the dinner table, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Look, his vein is popping in the side of his forehead.
He's having an aneurysm because of
know.
how uncomfortable I made him, which was the only goal of any of these podcasts.
Thanks a lot. You got my vein popping.
Okay,
right
You
now.
know,
since
he
your
didn't.
veins are
He wasn't
popping-
like this last week. What have you done
Since
to
his
him?
veins are exploding, let's talk about the most vein exploding trailer we've had in years.
Cruella.
Ugh.
No, that was
It was
fun.
right there, Cody.
I know.
Get Cruella out of the way. Just talk
Let's
about it. And
get
move
it out of the
on.
way. It was fun. I really liked it.
It was fun.
Yeah, I thought she was awesome. I loved her like fire dress that revealed her underdress underneath. There were parts of that trailer I really liked. I know she wants to kill and skin puppies for fashion. I get it. She's evil, but this was fun to watch. She was really good at being bad.
I mean, this trailer reminded me a lot of like the Joker trailers. I mean, it's obviously
That's what everybody's saying.
it's obviously not going to be Joker.
I
Like
didn't get
obviously
that.
it's not going to be Joker, but like between the score and I guess like the muted color palette for the most part, like that was the vibe I was getting. So to hear you say this looks like fun, I'm like, well, is it though?
I didn't get the Joker
Exactly
vibe.
what I thought when I saw it. I saw it and said, "This is Disney's version of Birds of Prey." That's exactly
that
what this
too.
is. That's 1,000% what this is. They're like, we have a pretty girl who's gonna play a bad character, and everybody's gonna love her because she's pretty.
She's a little crazy, so we'll play up on that.
Do you think that they'll pull a Maleficent and make her a good guy somehow?
Of course, it's Disney.
I think
Disney can't.
They can't
not do
not.
that.
Yeah.
No, she's gonna have some issue where she hits her head and then becomes bad, or like she's a good person. Like they're gonna do something.
or she's
to,
bad because she
So-
was abused.
So is she gonna bump her head twice, like once to turn
Yeah.
bthey and then
Yeah.
once to turn good at the
Oh,
end and
yeah.
like saves the
no,
puppies?
it's like Freaky Friday.
So-
it's like an episode of the Brady Bunch where they lose their memory.
This turned from a Joker ripoff to a Freaky Friday-ish story.
Yeah, no, it's a Disney version of Birds of Prey. It's gonna. I can't believe you thought this looked fun.
I did.
The
I
scene
really
with the dress
liked it.
was very interesting.
That was
visually,
awesome.
but that was
Visually,
it.
yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. Everything else is just like
She looks crazy. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
it looks-
just caught me at a right mood where I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that.
I mean, the trailer does look good. Like, I think
Yeah.
it did sell like the idea of a Cruella movie actually not being
Emma
terrible.
Stone was awesome in it.
She did a good job, at least by the trailer standards.
she's fine. I liked her at the end of Spider-Man 2 better,
Where she
where
died.
she doesn't talk,
Good lord, God.
where she stops talking in movies.
Got upset about my
I
hippie
like that.
comment. God, you're terrible.
That got dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of dark,
There
Okay,
it is.
The
there
best
you go.
dark trailer
Are you happy? Happy now?
of the last decade.
Last decade.
Wow,
really?
that's
Woo.
big talk.
This is an aggressive trailer.
It is aggressive. It was red band people, by the way.
You had to be 18 and up.
Yeah. It
Or
was
be able to click a mouse.
Yeah.
Or know how to click a
Or
mouse.
be old enough to click a mouse.
And know how to lie. Yes.
We finally have the Mortal Kombat trailer, and it did not disappoint.
No. You know, I always said the Mortal Kombat clips were the best part of that Warner Brothers sizzle reel that they put out for their HBO Max. Oh, the trailer was awesome. You heard me in there. I was
Yeah.
like 3 seconds in. I'm like, oh my gosh. I had to pause. I had to pause and ask questions. It was
3 minutes
awesome.
Of bloody, gory violence.
Violence.
All
This is-
good things, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Super awesome.
It was Mortal Kombat. I mean,
Killer powers.
there's
It was-
there's going to be some story. There's going to be some
Yeah.
moments where you're like, why aren't they killing each other? But it's going to be an in-your-face murder.
all of the characters
fighting
were in it
movie.
from like the original. They were all reimagined in it. So I don't think we're going to miss out on anybody.
They're not trying any deep storytelling. They're not going to try to inject a lot of humor like the original film version, where it was almost a comedy.
But was it on purpose or by accident, though?
I think they wanted it to be funny, but the parts that they thought were funny were not the parts that we found funny.
Okay.
So it
I'll
was
take that.
unintentional, intentional.
So now this one, it looks like they're being serious, but who cares about the serious plot when you got some awesome bloody action gore?
People love the game because it was violent.
Yeah.
Lean into it.
Wasn't because of
They
the
definitely
narrative.
did.
Yeah.
No, and they played up the Sub-Zero character is getting played up big time, so he's going to be a central role in it. And yeah, it was
One of the best.
His special effects for his powers were amazing. They were so cool.
The special effects did look pretty good. Like I was a bit surprised by it. I just wasn't like, I'm sure they put the money and time to like making this good, but I guess for a Mortal Kombat movie, you just don't know like
Weren't expecting
how?
it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
But I was just impressed.
You didn't recognize anybody, so that's how they kept the budget low, and then they just pumped it all into special effects.
Yeah.
Which seems like it could do the trick.
I
Like,
didn't
you don't
need-
need
You
big
have a
actors for
title,
this.
Right.
like you have an A title.
You don't
for a
need to
movie.
see
Yeah.
anybody you know in it. That could totally be a bunch of actors you don't know.
You don't need
Yeah.
Christopher Lambert,
'Cause-
blind as bat,
Playing-
playing Raiden.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we need to make his eyes actually darker because they're
They're cloudy.
Yeah.
Ken. Oh my god.
Are you surprised, Cody? Come on.
No.
I'm not surprised.
I'm back,
by
baby.
this.
Yeah.
COVID didn't get him.
It might have got his brain a little.
Maybe. But he's okay other than that.
Yeah.
Than that.
Oh, so that was the big news.
That was actually a
for the
really
week.
fun trailer. And that's the one that I feel like got us talking. You know, I even saw my brother today, and that was one of the first things I talked to him about. Have you seen the Mortal Kombat trailer? Like, it was just fun to get back to that. That's
Yeah.
what makes movies special. And then he got excited because he definitely saw it. And then we were talking about the guy's arms getting blown off and in the first 3 seconds. It was awesome. They even cloud blood, like poof.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to the details.
Oh, it's the little details that make it special.
Oh yeah.
But it's just somewhat of a return to that. Did you see that trailer? When's the last time you had that talk?
I don't even know when the last time I said that was.
2019.
And 19, yeah.
It might have been.
And all the trailers I saw, I haven't seen those
Maybe
movies.
we talked about. I think when you saw the Bad Boys trailer was like the
Yeah,
last.
but that would have
'cause
been
you were so
29
excited.
that would have been 2019 though.
Yeah.
That's the last time I think
Yeah,
because
because the trailer premiered.
flipped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, but it's nice to
Okay.
have real trailers.
The trailer was awesome. We can all agree on that. We're all very excited. There
Yep.
was one part I didn't like about it. The guy that was like, "Get over here." He didn't say it right. I wish they would have just. I've said it this 100 times. I wish they would have just spliced over the 90s. Get over here, because that's the one I wanted to hear.
I think they want to move away from that movie
No.
and pretend it never happened.
No,
Listen to
that's
us, Warner
awesome.
Brothers. Just dub over that part.
just
and
dub
we can
over that
move on.
part. Get over here.
The guy's wearing a mask. It's fine.
Yeah, you don't see his mouth moving. It's completely fine.
But think about how hard he worked to try and nail it. Try
Well,
and be different from the
Poor
other
guy didn't make it.
Cody said
It really
you-
does sound like a muffled guy in a mask in the
Cody's like,
trailer.
you failed. Move on.
Yeah, you failed. Get me the 90s version.
Just go watch the 90s movie then. It's still there.
Cody wants the Super Nintendo
I'm gonna
version.
totally watch the 90s version this weekend.
It's out there.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like the second one. I just liked the first
They
one.
brought
I
back
forgot.
the six armed guy,
I forgot
Four
there was
arms.
a second one.
six limbed guy,
Yeah.
Goro.
Yeah.
They brought him back. He's
Yeah.
in it. This time, hopefully, he doesn't get kicked in the crotch and make a face.
Yeah.
It's like, this is funny. We're going to kick him in the crotch.
Is it Johnny Cage?
Johnny Cage.
Yeah. The stuntman turned fighter.
Kicks him in the crotch and then runs away and then pushes him off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like, none of the other fights happened anywhere near any cliffs. Everyone died because of punching or things dropping on them or being frozen.
If I were
He's
to-
like, yeah, I'll push him off a cliff. It's fine.
Next time I see that movie, like I just need Ken's commentary over it. I just need a commentary track.
Yeah.
I'd listen to that on repeat.
Mortal Kombat. I need the 90s music coming back too. Oh, if I could have the 90s Mortal Kombat theme song and the Get Over Here that's supposed to be on in only this movie, I think I'd be very happy.
So then just watch the 90s
I'm
movie.
going to.
Just on our soundboard, we need the get over here.
Yeah. We're going to add that. And pew, pew, pew.
Let's make it happen.
That's going to be our soundboard. Special effects.
Oh, well, I am worn out after the Mortal Kombat talk.
Let's go watch it a few more times now.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We're going to watch the original. Oh, we should watch the original and each do like a review.
I mean, we can. Like, why not?
It's not as good as the trailer of the new one. The entirety of that 90-minute film is not as good as the 3 minutes of
This trailer
we have.
alone was better.
Yes. I could watch a trailer 30 times at 3 minutes, and it would be more enjoyable than watching the movie once at 90 minutes. Easy trade.
Cody's like, I find that to be a challenge.
I do. I want to go watch the movie, review it.
I'm gonna watch
What I loved
I'm gonna
about
watch the
Mortal
trailer
Kombat.
30 times and go, yeah, it was exactly what we talked about last week.
Again.
Amazing.
Yeah, again, arms off. I was like, whoa! They even heard me like yell in the office, and I had to pause it and I had to ask questions. So, what am I seeing? Is this how he loses his arms? I thought they just got crushed.
Like it did in the 90s.
Yeah.
Gotta make some changes. Can't
Yeah.
be the same movie.
No.
Oh, well, no changes this week. Keep checking silverscreeninsider.com for updates on the SVOG grant, also known as the SOS grant. And for the podcast, subscribe, rate, review. Submit any questions to our...
Tell us your favorite Mortal Kombat scenes.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I would love that.
That would be great. We can rate them.
Yeah.
From the original Mortal Kombat film, we can rate them from 1 to 1.5 on a scale of 10.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong with a scale that doesn't make sense? Okay, take us out, Kyle.
I think you already did, Ken, so thank you for doing that. And I guess we'll catch you guys next time.
Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.